All right, this is a one take. So if anybody recognizes what I'm doing right now, this is the Silksong Hollow Knight Silksong game that just this is loud as shit too. That came out however long ago, but I just got it. I played Hollow Knight, loved Hollow. I actually trashed Hollow Knight when it first came out. I don't even remember why, but I was like, "Boo, you guys are goobs." 2D Metroidvania. Who likes those? And I'm not gonna lie, I'll just use the phrase air quotes. Got it for free, and I ended up loving it so damn much that hold on. I ended up doing a whole bunch of these little fuckers with my 3D printer because honestly, it's just a fantastic game. I'm a Soulsborne guy, and after I got past the idea that it was just a 2D Metroidvania in a modern era, um, I'm old, I'm white. I guess I don't like change. I don't know. You'd think I, you'd think I'd be, more uh, uh, swayed to play a 2D Metroidvania because that was my era. But I was like, no, we've moved on from that. Anyway, long story short, it turned out to be one of my favorite games. I did pretty much almost everything in the game. I don't ever 100 complete anything because I just don't have the time. If people like doing that, that's great. Um, if people want games to be a certain way, that's fantastic. But I'm going to say this game kind of dropped the ball on that aspect because it's just so fucking tedious. It's a great game. It's a beautiful game. It's basically more Hollow Knight, but if you gave every single enemy in Hollow Knight 3 times the HP. So you go into a room, there's 4 enemies, each of them take fucking 7 hits. Like, come on. And then half of them are flying. And instead of flying in a pattern, they fly in a bobbing and weaving. And I swear to God, they input read. Like they input read. So you jump up to hit them and they actively dodge you before you even get to them. So every single room can take you like anywhere between 5 to 12 minutes. That's outside the platforming. Never mind the platforming like hazards. So you could end up just repeating the same, and there's gauntlet rooms everywhere with flying enemies. Bosses, they summon flying enemies. It there's a difference between, to me, if you enjoy this and that's what you like, that's fantastic. But I can't stand those get good people because anyway, I'll go into something with that later. And if you'll see, the screen looks like ass, but that's because I'm literally recording this on my tablet because I know you can go and install OSB on the Steam Deck and do all this and that. But I'm not doing that for this. I'm doing this to show people how to install the mods on Silksong because, to be honest, it's what made this game playable to me. And it's not the fact that it's too hard. I have the attention span of a small fruit fly. So if a boss is going to take me more than like 30 hits, I'll start tapping out and doing anything else. And these bosses take like 70 fucking hits. Like, and you're talking like 4 phases. Like, it's ridiculous. And sorry if I'm slurring and stuff, but I'm also having myself a little drink. Um, so I went through trying to finally. This is the first game I ever installed mods on, ever. I'm a big game hacker. I've hacked systems. I've done game hacks, things like that. I actually used to be really, really big in the. Oh God, what was the Xbox community? It'll come to me later on with the jig and everything like that, with helping out irrelevant details. So this isn't stuff that's new to me, but I've never felt the need to mod a game because I just muzzled through them. Even like I said, I played all the Dark Souls games. I enjoy Soulsborne. I enjoy that, but I feel like those and the original Hollow Knight were based way more on like pattern recognition and maybe a little bit of RNG. So like I will say, I ended up somehow, I don't know how, I played it on my Switch, And I actually ended up beating that entire game. I almost raged out at the fucking Radiant at the end because I couldn't figure out what was going on. And I realized the second half of that game I played with Switch stick drift, and I didn't know what stick drift was. And I could not understand why he would not respond to anything that I was doing. And it's because he constantly wanted to move right no matter what I was pressing. So I beat that game with Switch stick drift. So it's not like I'm a hack, but I'm not a get gooder. To me, get gooders are like, I say this all the time. People who are pure blood, self-proclaimed gamers, like they just irk me in a weird way because it's like, let's take like this is almost turning into a whole cast, but like let's take Monster Hunter Wilds. That came out for the PC. And yeah, it's gotten a little bit of trashed, but it's like most people are like, well, I don't have a problem with it. But no, on PC it does not run because I have friends who I've never been able to play with now because they cannot get the game to run for more than one fucking hunt without it crashing 3 times. But the game community, the fanboys, the gamers, air quotes, they'll sit there and act like abused spouses, and they will let the game industry beat them over the head like a redheaded stepchild and then make excuses about why it's their fault. You know what I mean? Or they're the other end of the abused spouse and they're making excuses about why it's the other abused spouse's fault. Oh, you couldn't get it to run. It runs great on my blah, 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 blah. So it's like, stop doing that. Or it's like, oh, you couldn't get good enough. Just shut up. Like, just stop. Like, just stop doing that. And half of them I don't even think are real or even played the game. And I'll generally call them out live. Like, I'll generally call them out when they do that. Like, let's say on Reddit or something like that. I'll be like, okay, cool, man. Stream to me live and let me see you do it. And then it's like, which is why I also believe a lot of this shit is AI bots that make these comments, especially on Reddit now. A whole nother discussion. But anyway, I wanted to make this because just doing this one thing made this game so much more enjoyable. And the only mod I have on is a 2 times damage multiplier. It just basically instead of a boss taking 75 hits, he's gonna take 37 or something like that. My math is not good. I've been drinking, but it cuts everything in half. So I don't end up losing the attention span or the desire to keep this fight going, because one of the main problems with this too is I don't remember this much in Hollow Knight, but I don't remember raging about this because this is a gripe with me. So like in Dark Souls, most of the time there's a shortcut right to the boss. Like you get there, you get a shortcut right to the boss. There's very few instances that I can recall in any of the Soulsborns where it's like, all right, you made it to the boss, you died, now you got to go through half the level again. That's what this game does. It makes you go through half the fucking level half of the time. So I made it to the last judge. She probably took me like 20 tries. And it's mainly, like I said, because around the 3rd phase, I start zoning out. I'm just like, this is so fucking boring at this point. Like, it's gone beyond tense and action and we don't need any more adjectives, but it's gone beyond the phase of tense action into, oh my God, this is so tedious and annoying. Like, I don't even want to keep playing. And then again, you die, you have to go through half the board again. So you can dodge most of the stuff once you get the pattern, but if you get hit once, now you're everything in. So you can see I have 6 health. Like everything does 2 health of damage in this game. So if you get hit, it's almost borderline pointless to keep going. You might as well just jump in a pit, die, and start over from the save point. Which, anyway. So, but that's my gripes aside. People can shit on it all they want. The people who maybe, and it doesn't matter about whether it's like, if you like it being that hard, do it. Like, knock yourself out. But if people don't have the time for that, nor care, what does it matter to you if they're playing it with a little bit of a... And granted, half the people who are get-gooders are probably using these mods anyway. And they're just liars because they have nothing else going on in their life. No skills or friends. All right, I don't want to shit on everybody. That's not what this is supposed to be. Ooh. So... I'll give a shout out to the guy who did a lot of help with me on this. Not help with me, but helped me with this. I phrased that wrong. Because I followed a walkthrough that got me in a good direction, but it didn't give you the complete picture of what you had to do. And this actually did. I'm going to try not to do a lot of start and stops and edits. I'm going to do a one take and then see how this goes. So as you can see, I'm streaming this, not streaming this, I'm sorry. I'm putting this out to one of my monitors. I literally just have my tablet sitting on top of a canister aquarium filter box with a 3D printed Raspberry Pi case holding that up. And that's what we're doing, because I really just don't think we need much more than that to do what we're going to do. And I'm going to try and do everything from the controller, because in the grand scheme of things, I think most people are going to be doing this from their Steam Deck, like solo. They're not going to be hooking it up to a mouse and keyboard. No, I'm not going to give you fucking rosaries, fucks. You know, I will say too, I'm not sure if it's just me, but I end up with a lot of dropped inputs at times. So if you're fighting a boss and you get one dropped input, that's the whole fight. That's not your fault. So it's like, yeah, make it a little bit easier if that's what you want. You know what I mean? And it's, you can still die in 3 hits, but I'm gonna tell you, I made it to the I forgot what they were called. It was the next boss that I got to after. I fought a couple like mini bosses and gauntlet rooms, and I'm gonna tell you, just this made it so much more fun. Did I die? Yeah, I still died, because it's still like 3 hits and you're dead, but it wasn't like it wasn't like you're 13 minutes into the fight and you got hit a third time and died. It was like, oh, you got 3 hits within the first 30 seconds. Boom. You died, start back over, get there again, do it again. That's how it should be. Not to mention, for somebody like me, my hands cramp up really, really bad when I'm playing something like that for too long. So I'm sure there's other people like this who maybe have carpal tunnel or arthritis. And yeah, if you're constantly doing these motions and holding a Steam Deck or maybe an uncomfortable controller, not the DualShock because I love it, it's going to become a problem. And that's not something you should really have to deal with. So the first thing I'm going to try and do is, well, first we're going to quit the game. Okay, we're going to try and quit the game. Okay, we're going to try and quit the game. There we go. All right, so as you can see, we're here. Oh, damn. I didn't even realize that you couldn't see that. Can I fix this? Nah, not really. You know what? I think for the most part, we're going to need that. So I'll move it around if need be. And then what we're going to do is we're going to switch to desktop. Now, if the controller's craps out, you know, I probably shouldn't have even used the controller. I should have been doing this from the Steam Deck. So let's see if that's what we can do. Oh no, it's fucking... Okay, I may have to pause this and then start back up, because I did not realize that this was going to do dual screen out to my monitor. So I can't see and show you what exactly was supposed to happen. So I'm going to pause this. Okay, so we're back. I decided to take it off the monitor and just do it right from the Steam Deck, because I'm just showing you, yes, there. Even this page where this guy, Josh Nichols, did this walkthrough for us, because there's parts of it that through the troubleshooting I realized you do need. The difference with this one is he did it, which uses the Proton pack behind it and Wine, I believe. So he's using the Windows version. Now, a lot of people, when I went online, said this worked for them great. Did not work for me at all. Could not even bring up the menu to open up the mods. So I had to go with basically the pure Linux version. And I want to say thank you again. Oh, you know, I'm going to put his name in the thing. I'm going to put the whole link to the Reddit thread too, for the guy who helped me. But his name was, or their name was, I think it's cntmpltvno. But I just want to say thank you to them, because they really did help me out a lot. You know, I mean, all right, I'm back. Sorry, there was a bit of a hiccup. I had to pause it for a minute because Steam Deck kind of timed out, and then the tablet kind of timed out. There was just some stuff that happened. So, but I ended up going into desktop mode. You can see I'm in desktop mode here. So this is the original tutorial. Nope, not that one. Sorry. Oh, you cocksucker! Come on. Stop being a dude. Oh, Oh, that's right. Desktop. There we go. Okay. We'll go back here. This is the original tutorial that I used. And the problem with this was it's, for me anyway, not for everybody, I'm sure, because some people say it works great for them, other people said they had no luck, is that the VPN X5 configurator, the one here is for Windows. And you'll see that he tells you to use Proton. You got to force load it with Proton. And I think he's using, because it's Windows, they're using Wine in the background because, of course, Steam Deck. And this runs Linux, which is fine. But it just doesn't work. Not for me. So if you're having trouble like I was and you couldn't get the configurator to even open and show you the mods, more than likely that's what it is. So again, I think this is like my second or third time trying to say this, but I ended up going on to Reddit and putting a post on it, and I'll put all the links to everything, even the Reddit thread, because there's good information in there, where a good person called, I think it's cntmpltvno, helped walk me through some of the tips that they went through to get it working with the pure Linux version. So what you're going to want to do is go here to the GitHub and get the actual Linux installer, you motherfucker. Come on. So you're going to want to download the latest Linux installer. And I'm sorry if this is blurry, but I really want to show people that this is on the Steam Deck, because primarily that's what I think most people are going to want to be putting mods on. So you're going to want to download the zip. And I already did this, so I'm not going to share how far I'm going to be able to get with showing you this, but I can show you the basics. So now we're in downloads. There's the zip. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to highlight it, and then you're going to press the, oh, sorry, I keep hitting the wrong thing. The L trigger in the back, and then you can extract this. And I'll do this really quick just to show you. Extract and delete archive. That's what I did. Boom. So you open this up, and there's these 4 files. And if you watch the other guy's tutorial, he shows you this. He'll show you, where to put them and such. But this is what you want. Boink. So what you're going to want to do then, and as you can see, I already did it. They're in here. You want to go and put these into the actual game folder on your Steam Deck. My big, stupid, fat, sausage fingers. So the easiest way to do that is to go into Steam and go to your library, and let's hope that, oh, thank God it opened one shot. And then what you're going to want to do I must have hit community. Go to your library, and you're going to want to go to Silksong, and then you're going to want to go to the gear, and then you're going to want to go to manage. And I'm sorry this is so blurry. Oh, for God's sakes. And you're going to want to go to browse. I mean, you can kind of still make it out. You're going to want to go to browse local files, and then it's going to open this. And what you're going to do is you're going to copy those files, not the root folder. You don't want the root folder. You want the files in the root folder. Hey, Blood Omen. So you're just going to highlight these. And then what you could do is L trigger, copy or cut. I don't need to do this. Oh, but I still need this folder open. And then you're going to paste them into that folder you just opened when you went to library. And then you'll see everything here. So there's your BPNX folder and the 4 files. You open that, boom. All right. Now you're going to see one more folder in here that's didn't come down with mine. Some people say it creates it automatically when you start the game. It did not do that for me, so I had to manually create this plugins folder. That's where you're going to put your 2 mods. All right. So to get the mods, now you can do this part of the guy's tutorial. You motherfucker. And you're going to go to Simple Cheat Mod Files. That's going to bring you to Nexus Mods. You're going to need an account for this. But basically, you're going to download the mods. You can just follow his, and it'll tell you exactly the 2 that you want to download. Boom. The other thing you're going to want to do to his, and I'm going to show you that in a minute, because once you have those in the folder, what you can do is you can go back to gaming mode. And I'm trying to do this as a one shot, as in one take, but of course that didn't happen. I already had to stop once because I want people to see from start to finish exactly how to do this and that it works and that I'm not doing anything in between that's not, that's, see, hey, you can see my bases there and my mask because I don't want my face online, even though it's been done a million times in the past if you want to look. But for sakes of the band, and if you like this, go check out Buff Danny on YouTube, Buff Danny Band. We do some pretty fun punk, metal, rock, all sorts of weird shit. We got some new stuff coming out soon. Come on, buddy. Load up. Oh, fucking itchy. Oh my God, am I going to get a there we go. Am I going to get a black screen? I can't even sip my drink anymore. So there we go. So now you start up Silksong. Oh no, I'm sorry. You don't start Silksong. You just want to go into Silksong. You want to go into the gear. And again, in the other guy's walkthrough, go to manage. Oh, sorry. Go to properties. Go to general. And you're going to want to put that command into there. Now, this is where things get weird, and maybe somebody else can explain this to me because I'm incorporating that as in wine is running. And I don't believe wine is going to be running at all for this, but maybe you need that for the actual plugins folder, which I actually should have said when you download those two plugin files from Nexus Mods, you're going to put those in the plugins folder that you create in the BPNX folder. All right. Sometimes you'll only have to start the game, stop the game, go back to desktop. I really didn't have to do any of that, but other people said they did. So just find my post on Reddit and I can walk through it. You know what, dude? I'm actually at dudes, whatever's. I'm actually willing to even do a live walkthrough with somebody who's not done it yet and from start to finish. And I'll set up a stream and record it. We could do it like no faces because I don't like people to have to show their face and get it working. So, and then go to compatibility. I don't know if you're really going to need this part because you're not doing, I don't think you're doing wine. I just have it anyway. So, and it seems to work. All right. So once you get those in, you motherfucker. This is actually a lot harder. It's so weird looking at the tablet screen and trying to use my hands on the Steam Deck. So we're going to start the game. We're going to start the game. Okay, we're going to start the game. Yeah, we're starting the game. Okay, we're going to start the game. There we go. Now, here's another thing that I ran into. When I did this, yes, we understand. It actually borked the resolution. So my entire screen, whoops, there goes the original setup, took up a third of the screen. So it took me a little while to figure it out. So if this happens to you, go into options, go back to video, just change your resolution. It set me to like 800 by 800. Don't know why it did this. So I just had to set it back to what I wanted and it was fine. No. So we're going to start my file. Now, again, I'm saying I made it all the way to Last Judge playing the regular game. And I'm sure I could have finished it, but there comes to be a point where you realize you're just not having fun. And when you're playing a video game, it should be fun. It shouldn't be a job. It shouldn't be stressful. You shouldn't have to get good. I mean, you should just be able to play it. I mean, even Liza P, if it didn't, you're going to see some of my other videos on this channel where I'm just trashing. Liza P was a fantastic game. Steam Deck, it was sort of aggravating because they just issued it for free with PlayStation Plus a few months back, and I decided to play the first half of the game on PlayStation, on my PS5, and I just destroyed the game. Like, I was just perfect guarding, like, nonstop. On my Steam Deck, I don't know if it's a latency issue or an input drop issue or something, but perfect guarding is so hard. And when they issued the update for the DLC and they input the easy mode, which I think was a great addition for people who just want to do that, it broke my game severely. I couldn't even start the game. I couldn't. It broke the controls. It broke the start. It broke the frame rate. Everything. So anyway, back to this. See my face. So once you're in the game and everything is completely set up, you're gonna want to go to the keyboard. So you're gonna want to hit the three dot button. You're gonna go down to here, and you're gonna want to hit the tilde. I think it's a tilde at the top. There you go. And then hit the button, because if you hit B, I've noticed sometimes it'll take you out of this. And once you're in there, you're gonna have to use touchscreen. You can't use buttons. Oh, my fat fingers. Oh, now because I restarted the game, I have to input this, which isn't bad because now you get to see it. So you hit, go back to the keyboard and backspace 2.0, enter. Oh no, apply, I'm sorry. Make sure you hit the apply. Oh, god damn you motherfucker. Apply. Currently applied 2 times damage multiplier. And then go to close. And that's it. Let me see if I can do this and find an enemy. So platforming is never my problem, unless it gets super fucking boring. And this is another thing, like the patterns get so randomized that sometimes, and I know it seems, okay, so this guy would normally take like 7 hits. 3, boom. That is so much more acceptable for, especially when you're in a room where you got 4 of these fuckers and they're just bombarding you. So I'm gonna try and find another guy. That guy was kind of stuck. Not you, I don't care about you. So watch, I'm gonna jump at this person. Oh, there he goes. Oh, I just left the room by mistake. See how he just avoids you? Oh, see? There you go. Oh, I'm gonna tell you what. I didn't mean to do that, but the grappling hook breaks this game. Like, it really does. Now, there's a ton of different mods you can do, and like I said, I'm not looking to break the game, but if you want to do it, knock yourself out. I just wanted to make it more like Hollow Knight. That's all I wanted, was more Hollow Knight. And I think if Team Cherry really wanted to do this and make it right, they would add that kind of setting. You don't even need, like, that's how easy it is. You don't need to make an easy mode. You could just put these mods in the game so someone can go in and say, look, I want to be able to have a double damage multiplier, or I only want to take 1 mask of damage, and I'll keep the single damage multiplier. Or maybe I don't want to have to go get sent back when I die on a boss all the way to a bench. I want to start at the boss room. Or maybe you just want like unlimited tools, because it's kind of stupid that you get these tools, and people love to say this dumb shit that I've seen on Reddit where it's like, oh, you're supposed to learn how to fight the boss before you use the tools. But if I know how to fight the boss without the tools, why would I use the tools? And then if I'm not using the tools, what's the point of having the tools? So I think the tools in this game should have worked more like flasks in Dark Souls, where you get a certain amount and you can, every time you rest or die, you get those refilled, and if you can collect more throughout the level. So like, you can use them throughout the level, but when you kill an enemy, you can pick up the shards and then you could refill your tools. You know, I don't think it should have been like you get 400 tools and every time you rest at a bench it automatically refills, and because then you're restricting the gameplay. Like, someone told me in this, when I was going through one of my rants, that this game was set more to be like, not use the needle, but use the spells. And I use spells in Hollow Knight. I enjoyed them, but I prefer fighting with them. with the sword. Okay, I did that by accident. Um, like I prefer the more, action. Like I don't want to have to use spells. So the thing that sucks is like you got to use the needle to use the spells. You got to build up your silk. So you got to get good with it. But if I'm already good with the needle, why should I have to use the spells? Like it doesn't make any sense. So like you can get in. One of the additions in this game was crests, and you can switch crests, and each crest has a different thing. But they don't really do much that I can see. Like they change a couple of moves, but it would have been better if like they had crests that said, okay, this one's more spell and silk based. This one's more attack based. So okay, I could put on this crest and get a 2 times multiplier on my attacks, but my silk do less damage. Like that kind of stuff would have been better than what it is. I mean, again, if you enjoy the game and you like that constant tediousness and repetitiveness of insanity, then by all means. But people doing this kind of stuff isn't affecting your gameplay. It's not online, you know? So, anyway, I'm going to put this up later. I'm going to have to do a little bit of editing now, unfortunately. And if anybody has questions, just respond to me. Go right to the Reddit post. If you really, really, really need help and you've got your Steam Deck, like I said, I have no problem trying to set up a time and even doing like an anonymous Zoom, and we can record it and maybe make a better video of somebody doing it from start to finish. And you know what I mean? Tell me if it makes your gameplay experience much better like it did mine. All right, so I forgot literally the most important part of this whole thing, and I'm doing it now. And it's one of the files that you have to make executable. And this took me a little bit of research to do, and thank God the person on Reddit mentioned this to me, and I was able to do a little bit of research and figure it out. I did ask them first, but then I got impatient. It's one of those things where it's like, you ask somebody, hey, how do you fix this? And as soon as you ask them, me and my buddy were just talking about this morning, as soon as you ask them, then you find it and you figure it out yourself. So we're going to have to end up quitting the game. And I think you have to go into desktop to do this because there's just no way to get to the file. So, hold the power button, switch to desktop. You can hear the woman up there vacuuming. Now, the folders are already everything's still open. Close Firefox. I've been having this weird problem with my Steam Deck where the mouse trackpad button is very, very, like it almost doesn't let me depress it until like, I guess it loads it. I think I'm gonna have to go into BIOS mode and see if it fixes anything. Well, as soon as it loads it, then I can use it and press it. So you want to go into the Common Hollow Knight Silksong BPNX. Oh no, you want to be in the BPN? No. Sorry. Okay, you know what? I got to stop looking at it on the tablet. That's what the problem is. Hollow Knight Silksong. Okay, so you want to find the SH file, I believe it is. Right there. Run BPNX SH, and you want to make this executable. So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to just touch it with your mouse. Don't double click, just touch it. LPAD, go to properties, right? Go to permissions, and then you want to allow executing files a program. You want to just check that box and hit OK. I'm not going to futz with it right now. Like, I don't feel like messing with anything. That is like literally the most important part. And I want to thank that Reddit person for telling me that, because I would have never figured that out, like ever. You need to do that. You need to put that command line under general, and then you need to go set this file as executable. You could do 90% of this from desktop mode. You really can. You could do some of it from game mode. I would say get as much of it done from desktop mode as you can. And like I said, I'm just doing it this way because I wanted people to be able to see that you could do it all from the Steam Deck. You don't need to hook up a mouse and keyboard. I literally did it all from my bed in my fucking pajamas. So, again, let me know if this worked for you. And then, hey, if this did help you, like a couple of my other things I've posted, go check out the band page. Go check out the YouTube. And just let us know. All we want is, some feedback on the songs. You know, which ones you like, which ones you hate, how much do we suck. All right, I'm going to return to gaming mode, and I'm going to shut this off.